This is for Mobius Lesson 8, homework question number 1. For the function f of x equals 6x minus 2, evaluate each of the following. The first thing I'd like to address is the notation for the function. I've typed it over here, so we have this f of x equals 6 times x minus 2. The f just means that it's a function. There are some equations that are not functions, so that's just specifying the type of equation that it is indeed a function. We have a variable or an unknown, something that we can change the value of, and it's the x here, and over here is the equation with the x. Now, if we want to evaluate something for the function of, we just replace in here with what we're looking for, and then everywhere we see the x, we're going to replace that as well. And the first thing I do when I do that is I replace this x with parentheses, because there are sometimes negative numbers that get mixed up in the order of operations, and having the parentheses just keeps everything nice and orderly. So the first thing we're going to do is just do the notation. I'm going to press Control-C to copy and Control-V to paste, and then replace this for our first one, which is f of 1. And again, like I said, when I get rid of this x here, I'm going to replace it with parentheses, opening and closing, because that designates everything that's being substituted in for this variable x. And then I just fill it in for this one as a 1. But you'll notice down here I have a negative 2. And if I put the negative 2, let's just copy and paste that again. So if I put a negative 2 in here, and if I didn't put the parentheses, it might look like 6 minus 2. And so these parentheses really help with the order of operations and making sure that you don't accidentally mix up a negative sign. Now we can do each of these by hand, which is fine. If I were to evaluate this, I would do 6 times 1, which is 6, minus 2 is 4. Now, there's going to be some later on that'll be a little bit more difficult, and I have a very nice shortcut to show you. So over here I have all of these entered in: 1, 0, negative 1, 2, negative 2, and 5. And I would double check that just in case you get any of those numbers incorrect as you type them in. And then on the right side, this is my f of x, or the equation 6x minus 2. And that's going to be our formula we're going to use. So to get it to calculate, we're going to do equals, and then type in the formula stuff. So 6 times x. X is the variable, so we're going to multiply it by what we're going to substitute or evaluate at, and this one is 1, or to the left, the cell to the left. Then I'm going to finish up the formula, subtract 2, press enter, and you'll notice that matched what we got here. So that was good, and we know it's correct. Now if I click and drag this down, it will then continue cell referencing the cell to the left, which is exactly what we want to do, because I need it to change and evaluate for each of these numbers. Another quick trick is just to 2 left clicks here in quick succession instead of clicking and dragging. Either way, you can fill that in. That trick works if I have stuff to the left and it ends, and double clicking will fill it in until it sees that whatever chart I'm working on has ended, or the column ends at a certain row. All right, so that was really fast and a very easy way to use Excel to speed you up on your homework. And I'm just going to fill these in really quickly and make sure as I type them in that I'm not making any typos. Double check, see they're all good, and then how did I do? Excellent, and I can move to the next question.